Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. As you know, I was on vacation on Sunday, and that's why this Box Office Talk is a little late, but let's just get into it. Last week, I predicted that number 1 would be Ghostbusters, number 2 would be The Secret Life of Pets, number 3 would be The Legend of Tarzan, number 4 would be Finding Dory, and number 5 would be Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. And I actually got 3 out of 5 of my predictions right, which is a little better than normal. Let's get into it. Number 1 was, once again, The Secret Life of Pets. I was actually a little surprised that it was able to stay up there because earlier a report said that Ghostbusters was tracking to make around 50 to 60 million, but apparently that wasn't too true. But The Secret Life of Pets made 50 million this weekend, and that adds to a total of $203 million. This movie is doing exceptionally well, and that's pretty good for Illumination Entertainment. And even though I gave it a mediocre review, I think that score was a little bit too harsh. I think maybe a C plus would have been better. I don't know, I think back to it sometimes, and maybe I regret it, but then I think that of my flaws for the movie, but the point is, it's good for this movie that it made that much money. Moving on to number 2, which was Ghostbusters. This movie made $46 million, and this is the second highest opening weekend for a Ghostbusters film, the first one being the lowest and the second one being the highest opening weekend. As far as overall total, well, we don't know that yet because this movie just opened up, so in the next couple weeks we'll see how that one stacks up. But its budget is $144 million, so far it's not doing that well. Worldwide, I believe it has like around 60 million right now, but it opened with 46 million. I'm not sure if it'll be able to be the biggest grosser that they all wanted it to be, especially since they were trying to kickstart a new franchise with Ghostbusters. I'm pretty sure I heard they were trying to make a Ghostbusters cinematic universe. Blah, who cares? This movie, I already stated how I feel about this movie in my review. You want to know? You can watch it. I really don't have the energy to keep talking about Ghostbusters. If you thought that was a joke, I'm not joking. I actually really could care less about Ghostbusters right now. So I'm going to move on to number 3, The Legend of Tarzan, another movie that I could honestly care less about. This weekend it made $11,441,000, and that adds to a total of $103 million. This movie is actually doing a little better in the over a couple of weeks than I actually expected it to, because it opened with 30, but then it stuck around with 20, and now it's in 11 million. That's actually really impressive. It's like at the same spot too, like around the same area. That is also really weird, but it's made over 100 million domestically, so that's pretty good, even though I think the movie's but its budget is still 180 million, so it needs 77 more to cross it domestically, but I haven't checked worldwide, and I don't really feel like it right now because I just want to get this late video up. So let's move on to number 4, Finding Dory. This weekend it made $11,281,000, and that adds to a total of $445 million. That is so good for Finding Dory. Yeah, Secret Life of Pets, you may be doing well right now, but will you be as good as Finding Dory's numbers? I don't think so. Moving on to number 5, which is Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, a movie that wishes it could have the numbers of Finding Dory and Secret Life of Pets, but it made $7 million this weekend, and that adds to a total of $31 million, so it's only $2 million away from its $33 million budget. It'll do fine. Like I mentioned last week, it opened with a big animated film, so most of the audience will be at that, but then maybe they'll go see Mike and Dave later. Plus, most comedies open at low numbers, but then gross over like some amount of money over its budget. Usually comedies do well, but they open with low numbers. That's all I'm trying to say. I have yet to see this film. I really do want to see it at some point though. But I'm going to move on to number 6, which is The Purge election year. It made $6 million this weekend, and that adds to a total of $71 million. It has made 7 times more than its $10 million budget. And I will talk to you guys about it tomorrow. That's right. Even though it's my birthday tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about this crappy movie. Stay tuned. Number 7 was Central Intelligence. This weekend it made $5,372,000, and that adds to a total of $117 million. And I really don't have that much to say other than Kevin Hart is in 2 movies that, money-wise, are doing really well. So, good job, Kevin. Moving on. Now, last weekend, I completely forgot that this movie was going to be released, and when I made my predictions, I immediately regretted it because I forgot to include this movie in the top 5. However, now I don't regret it because it's not doing that well. The Infiltrator. This weekend it made $5,303,000, and that is not really good for this film. And I just realized I forgot to look up the budget for this movie on my notes. Crap. But anyway, sorry about that. I'll put up a title thing saying what the budget of The Infiltrator was. But opening with $5 million, even though this is a not as mainstream movie as you might expect it to be, this is still not that good for this movie, especially a Bryan Cranston movie. I expected a little bit more than that. Anyways, number 9 was the BFG, a Steven Spielberg movie that I wish was doing a lot better than it is. This weekend it made $3,789,000, and that adds to a total of $47 million. $93 million away from that $140 million budget, but there's no way it's going to get there. Worldwide, I'm pretty sure it's only stuck at like 60 million or something like that, which is a big shame because this movie was actually really good. I thought it was going to be a really big moneymaker, but apparently it wasn't. But hey, neither was number 10, Independence Day Resurgence. This weekend it made $3,521,000, and that adds to a total of $98 million. It's about to leave the top 10 entirely without even crossing $100 million domestically. That's pretty sad. But hey, at least it got over $200 million worldwide. Is that still good for you? I don't know. I don't even know if you're still going to make that third one. But anyways, time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to say that number 1 will be Star Trek Beyond, but then I'm going to say that number 2 will be Ice Age Collision Course, but then I'm going to say number 3 is The Secret Life of Pets. It'll be interesting seeing how this box office turns out. Then I'm going to say number 4 is Ghostbusters, and number 5 will be Lights Out. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below, and if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now, unless you didn't get it right then. Whoops. And remember, if you didn't leave a question for the upcoming Q&A, whenever that'll be in the comments of my Ghostbusters review, you can leave them here on this video as well. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.